Okay. Hi, this is Twisted Granny Tarot, Sherry, in beautiful somewhere in December. It's December. Well, it's not December yet. But anyway, we are working on the December calendar for the signs of Virgo. I hope I can give you good news. I probably can't. Now, you are talking to the the tarot channel that uses a horoscope diagram as a map, okay, for a reading. We're going to get a lot of information because each section of this pie is labeled with category of your life: children, romance, marriage, business, money, those kinds of things. We cover a lot of territory. Now, the next thing is, this is kind of a newish deck, and so I don't know it perfectly. Most of the cards will be similar to the original, but if they're not, the artists sometimes use creative flair to mess me up. So I'm going to do my best. All right, now, in the meantime, my friend Link publishes this calendar. It's called A Year and a Day. And he, oh, well, hold on, baby doll. All right, back to the calendar. My friend Link publishes this calendar every year, and he kind of studies antiquities, and he, find the right page, he applies the information to the date that it is said to occur on, such as on Christmas Eve, on the 24th. There's just a little blurb here. Dancing in churches was by no means an unheard of thing. It was often made non-committant of Christian festival, concomitant. It was often made a concomitant of Christian festivals. The original Christmas carolers were called dancers. So saith Gerald Gardner, who's the big daddy of modern W word. Okay. All righty. So now, Miss Virgo and Mr. Virgo, here we go. We're going to lay out 12 cards, maybe more, if they need modifiers. Okay, so first house for Virgo is, what's going on with you? Page of Cups. Pages are always messengers. So, because it's a face card, we're going to pull a modifier on it. Oh, it's the sun. This is good news for you. Is a child going to come live with you, or are you going to go live with that child? Look at that. How about that? Okay, ready? Second house is your own money. We got the Queen of Swords here. You think a lot about money, and because this is a face card, I have to put another, and we got the Queen of Wands. So there's going to be two heads working on there's going to be a conversation between you and another person about money. Third house is Eight of Cups. Oh. Now this guy's taken off. This is about money, and this guy's leaving. What the hell? So, folks, okay. So I'm not so sure. Initially, I thought somebody was going to move in with you. I don't know where I got that idea, but it just popped in my head. But now this one says, y'all are leaving. This, look here. Eight of Cups. It says Eight of Cups. And he's got his 8 cups on the shelf. And he's got his suitcase and his cane, or his, what do you call that, walking stick. And he's going out the door. So are you leaving to join a person that you know for a better life? Maybe it'll be a good plan. Maybe it'll be a mutual admiration society. You know what I mean? All right, third house is communication. Oh God, the King of Cups. Who in the world is that? That's a man that likes you. Sweet words. Could be a water sign. Ace of Swords. King of Cups could be a romantic interest. And if you're going to take, let's pretend that I'm right, and you're going to take off and join somebody else elsewhere, this particular fellow does not want you to move because here's his talking about stay, 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 or can I go, can I go, can I go? What? He's going to have something to say about this. You may not care. Maybe you've had enough of men. You want to do it with the cooperation of somebody else. Fourth house. Kids, this is a modern depiction of the god Odin. Notice this man is upside down, hanging by one leg, right? But he's wearing blue jeans and a t-shirt, so he's not really looking like a card from an original deck. In the original deck, it's the god Odin, and he's wearing typical, medieval clothing, that kind of thing. He's a god Odin, and he had made several mistakes in his life, and he knew he needed to look at the world through a different lens or from a different angle. So he plucked out his eye, and he hung himself upside down in a tree, just so he could look at the world upside down. Well, you certainly would get a different view, wouldn't you? Lots of things would come to your attention that you hadn't even noticed before because now you're looking at them upside down. So, okay, so what I'm going to say is, this is what I'm going to say. You spent many years trying to make a home, and I'm going to say with a partner. That's what I'm going to say, with a partner. Now you've decided, this is what I think. Don't ask me where this came from. You're decided blankety blanky poo with the partners, only much worse language, okay? And you've had enough looking at the world right side up, and you had enough looking at the world upside down. So you're done with that. And so you're just going to take off and be by yourself. Oh. Yay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, let's find out what's happening in your romance house. Ace of Wands. Well, I think you're looking forward to a new, what shall we say? A new beginning with somebody. In other words, you're excited for the challenge of a new romance with another person. Okay? That's what you're excited for. Sixth house, work and health. Well, we got the Page of Wands. Now we got another message. But Wands has to do with business, so let's see what this is. Two of Pentacles. So here you're trying to make up your mind. Well, look, what's this Page of Wands? This work and health. Oh, he's letting you know there are going to be two separate situations that you may be qualified for, that may be good place for you to work. Okay? So, what I think is, you're dreaming up a place to work. Seventh house, marriage partnerships and business partnerships. Oh my God, the Seven of Cups. Oh, honey. The literal interpretation of this card in a regular deck, and this is a regular deck, is that these cups are full of wishes. Wishes. The instruction book, honest to God, says unfulfilled fantasies, unfulfilled wishes, situations that are never going to transpire. But if somebody, it's like you're making a list of what you want to do. I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to do this. But there's no way you're ever going to grow a banana tree in Ohio, okay? It ain't going to grow bananas. So that's an unfulfilled wish. You can cross that one off if that was your wish. And my mom had a banana tree in a in a planter inside the house. It never got very big. Oh mercy. Okay, so what you want in a marriage partnership, you think right now, you're thinking of all the qualities you're going to look for and you're going to ask for, and you're going to, you know what? And if they're not different from your last 6 affairs, then you're going to get the same result. So you probably should be picking a new kind of candidate. Let's pretend you're a diehard, I don't know what. Okay, I'm going to tell you, if you're a diehard conservative, maybe you ought to start looking at the guys that are, you know, not conservatives. Just saying. Or less conservative. Somebody who, never mind. Okay, 8th house is money from other people. This is a death card. This indicates that you think you want to get money after somebody dies because you want to inherit. That's what this says. If you have relatives that are on shaky ground when it comes to their health, it may have to do with that. But I'm not counting on it. Because you want to inherit. Okay, 9th house is, what do we got here? Oh, Lord. Philosophy, religion, higher education, and long distance travel. And what we have here is the Emperor. The Emperor is not a nice guy. The Emperor is the guy who says, no, no, no. That's all he says. He's very unpopular. Most of us readers call him, this is what I was told. He's like the teacher in high school you hated the most because he turned your homework back into you every day and said, do it over. Now, nobody ever did that to me. But there are lots of kids that does happen to. And there were lots of teachers I hated, that's for sure. And so you're not allowing yourself even the thought of having a vacation in Cabo San Lucas. That's in Mexico somewhere, isn't it? You won't even consider going to Niagara Falls. You won't even consider going to Tijuana. Well, that's easy to get to. You won't even let yourself think about it. Well, if you're not going to let yourself think about it, it ain't never going to happen. So you need to plant a little seed. You know what? If you just wanted to plant, write down what you think of, like Paris, and then put it in your travel jar. Yeah, put it in your travel jar. Then you might think, I want to go to British Columbia. Oh, put that in your little jar. And then say, I want to go visit that ship in Oslo, Norway, that the Vikings, that has been rebuilt in a museum, in a Viking museum. You could put that on there if you're into Viking mythology and that kind of life. So kids, girl, allow yourself to dream. Please allow yourself to dream. So loosen up the noose you got around on your own neck because you're cutting off your air from lack of dreams. Okay? All right. 1, 2. Right? Yep. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 10 is career. Boy, girl. Don't worry about where you're going to work because this girl's got it handled. This woman has it handled. Her name is the High Priestess. She's got to do with your communication between your own self and the gods above and your ancestors above and your spirit guides from around you, and maybe your fairy godmother if you got one, your grandmother, your aunt, somebody who loved you that passed. They're going to help you get what you want. And it's right here in the 10th house. So even though y'all may be heavily annoyed by what look like right now are lack of opportunities, that's going to change. And it's going to change in its own good time because somebody's lining this up for you already. Somebody's lining up a career situation for you very shortly. Okay, 11th house is 11th house is Long-term plans and friends from previous employers. Now I don't know how that got. I don't know how they put those together, but social life, friends, and goals. Well, look here. Does that look like a goal to you? Some windstorm just blew in and blew your papers all over your desk. The Three of Swords. Oh, you know what that is? That's a broken heart in a regular deck. Yeah, because it's a heart shape with swords in it. And so, if this is goals, you don't feel like you, oh, so you've had goals in the past and they have just blown away. And so you're afraid to have them. You know what? Just write them down. They don't have to even be a goal. I'll talk. You want me to tell you why? Because I had to write down some goals, and I had no interest in those goals whatsoever because I didn't think they were going to happen. Well, when I left that job, what happened? I had every one of those things on that list. It was amazing. One of them was new carpet because you want me to tell you how I got new carpet? Because my house flooded. That's how I got it. I didn't have to lift a finger. The tank leaked. Okay, so don't worry about it. Just go on. Tell yourself everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. Everything okay. Okay, now we got your 12th house. Now this girl is blindfolded and she got a sword in each hand. So she can't see where she's going. And she's threatening these birds with her swords because she cannot see what she's doing. So, hon, so all you Virgos out there, what is signified by being blindfolded? Oh, there are some things about your future that you do not want to see. What you don't want to do is relive the previous disappointments you've had. Relive the previous disappointments that you've had. You're an idiot. I can't help you. So when you go to sleep at night, actually, honey, you think about things that you have no control over. And you make an imaginary, you fear imaginary disasters when you go to sleep at night. Well, sometimes we're raised with real disasters that happen. And so we get accustomed to that thought pattern. However, change the subject. If you start thinking about bad things when you go to sleep, change the subject. And start, what you should do, count your blessings. Well, one of your blessings is, oh, you have a car to drive. One of the other blessings is you have a refrigerator with food in it. That's two right there. Okay? You have a job. That's a blessing. Your kids are healthy. That is a blessing. So what happens when you think about things that are good that you have? A huge weight is lifted off your mind and your shoulders. And guess what? You can go to sleep because you're thinking about good things. So change all those bad thoughts into good thoughts. It works. You own your own mind. Who owns your mind if you don't? And so, Four of Wands. Well, let me see if I can figure out what the Four of Wands is. Let me see. It doesn't look like my regular picture. Huh? Oh. In the original picture, it's a party. There are under a canopy, like a Jewish canopy that people get married in. Well, that's what the original card looks like. And there are people in that little, whatever it's called, arbor, that are dancing. So that's a good card. It's a happy card. So what this is, all right, look at this. Here are the Four of Swords, Wands, Four of Wands. And this woman inside here is in his imagination, really. But she is beckoning him to follow her because she's the way to happiness. So if someone has an idea and they are going to do X and they want you to do it with them, seriously consider that. Seriously consider that. So, congratulations, Virgo. It's been a trip, right? Yeah. So, I think that if you'll go with the flow and you're willing to try something different, if the things you've been doing lately aren't working out, then try something else. Okay? Try something else. You might find you really like it, and that is good for you. Okay? Anyway, thank you for joining me. This is Sherry from Twisted Granny Tarot. I hope everything works out for y'all Virgos. It can, because there's nothing terrible here. Except for the Emperor. He's not a nice guy. So, try to avoid him and find things you can do. Okay? Because he's going to tell you no. Okay, see you later. Thanks. Love you, mean it. Bye.